Now I'm going to give a little assistance on making the walls. I'm only going to concentrate on one side. You will have to apply this information to the other walls. Now, I have to go into face mode, so personally I right click and go into face mode, but remember, if you have the modeling toolkit opened up, you can use the tools over here that you may have learned in another video. I am going to click on this face. Now, because of the mirroring structure that I used earlier, the shift double click doesn't work correctly, but you can see where my halfway point is. So I'm going to click on this frame right here, this face. I'm going to come over to my halfway. I can do a click, or I can do a click, shift, double click, and that gets that whole row. Then I'm still holding shift. I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to double click while holding shift over there. So I need to make sure that there is nothing selected anywhere else, nothing on the side, nothing here, nothing underneath. Otherwise, this won't work correctly. I now need to do my extrusion. Now again, I'm just doing this one side. You may want to do the whole perimeter at the same time to get it all the same height. All right, so I'm going to do my edit mesh, extrude. Again, you may use shortcut key or the other ways you like. I'm going to pull up on the wall. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and save because I need to save periodically. I am not requiring you, if you're doing the courtyard, to be extremely detailed on the walls. What I would like to do is see some doors and windows. I'm not making you do doorknobs. I'm not making you actually do the structures between the doors unless you want to. Now, to make proper cuts in here, in case I wanted to do windows, I'm going to right click and go into object mode. And before I come back on that, it's going to be a good idea to go look at our picture to see what we're doing. So I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to prepare to open my courtyard photos. So I'll prepare that to share it. All right, so let's go back into sharing that. All right, here is my courtyard photo. So when I look here, okay, this one gives me a pretty good idea. The windows here go all the way up to the ceiling. Again, I'm not making you do the details in between unless you want to. It's good practice for extra cutting of faces. I do want to see the area in front of the common area. So to do that, I may need to look at one of my videos. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to start that video and I'm going to forward it. Okay, that's going to be the library. I'm going to come over here to the common area. So again, you can see over here, come on, stay put. Okay, you can see over there that the windows do go floor to ceiling over there as well. Okay, so that's going to help. When I go back to Maya, and I need to see what needs to be window and what needs to be floor. Now, in one of the previous Hypershade videos, I showed you how to make windows. I am going to show that here, but I'm going to make a little bit of the details just to give you an idea for anybody wanting to do. Now, I have to be careful because right now, if I make a cut using the mesh tool edge loop, it's going to cut around right there. And that's going to be fine, but it's not going to be all the way around. It is not going to get my columns. Even if it did, it wouldn't be a big deal. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to try. I need to come right over here. It's probably, yeah, it's not going to work there. I have to go to this outer edge, but then I can click and drag up to where it meets that. Okay, and I'm just zooming to make sure that's pretty even. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I still have my tool selected. That actually wasn't where I wanted it to be. I was really going to kind of do it in the middle, kind of like so. And again, I'm just doing this for example purposes. Okay, that needs to be moved up a little bit. So, okay, we're going to pretend that that's perfect. This is another reason I'm not expecting really great detail on that bit. Now we know between this pillar, let me get a face mode, between this pillar and this pillar, all this is window. So when we're in face mode, you can click and shift click that or shift double click that. Nope, you can't do that shift double click because it gets the mirrored part. But I do want to show you that what you can do is click and drag all this section here. Now the reason I'm clicking and dragging is because it will get the back. Just by clicking, shift clicking, you're only getting the frontal face. Now I'm going to go into my hypershade mode, which is this button right up here. And I don't have, I always like to make my own window instead of using one of the potential particles that's already created. I'm going to do create, material. Windows might be reflective, so I'm going to choose a blend. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to name it window. This is very similar to that very short making a window video in your tutorials. I'm going to come to color. Now, our windows aren't blue, are they? They're kind of brownish, really. So you may, tweak it to where you get, you can move these around to whatever colors you want. I like it maybe a little grayer, something like that. Now that's fine, but and that's not a great color, but you know what I mean. You can keep moving that till you get what you want. Now, transparency is important. If you want it to be transparent, you need to make it transparent. And I'm doing this by dragging the transparency slider. I don't know how transparent you want it to be. You may have to play with that. I'm going to make it where you see a little bit, but you can see through. Now I'm going to keep this open and move this down because I want you to see, even though I had selected before going into Hypershade, it went away. So you will need to reselect, but we already know what we want to select right here on down. So I'm just going to click all of those. And because I clicked and dragged again, I got the back. So now I'm just going to come over to my window, right click, assign material to selection. And then I should be able to see through my window. See that? But it's not a deleted face. You just see through it. And we're going to do lighting later, so you'll see how that plays in there. Again, I do not expect details on doors and things, but if there's a brick wall, put a brick wall. If there's a window, put a window. The whole floor or the whole wall is not windows. So, look at the pictures. If you are doing the courtyard, look at the photos of whatever you're building you're doing to see what you need to do. Let me know if you have questions.